Now let me start off the basics. Let's see the definition of a class and object, and we will see an example of it, and then we will see the coding problem. See what is meant by a class first. Class is a template that its objects need to follow. Okay, class is just like a template, and every object of it need to follow that template. And it is a virtual thing, guys, means it doesn't exist physically. We will just imagine that. Okay, for example, you can see a car can be a class, right? We can't see a car directly, it's a imagination thing. But what we can see a Tata car, we can see a Kia Motors car, we can see a Hyundai car, we can see a Benz car, Audi car, or anything. Those are nothing but the real world existed things, right? So car is just a template that every manufacturer or every company need to follow it. Means what? It should have four wheels, it should have a steering, it should have four doors, and it should have some windows and gear, like that. There will be some template will be given. So that's why we can say class is a virtual thing. It is just like a template. And you can see student, person, everything are the examples of the classes. Why? We can't see a student, but I can see a Ram can be a student, a Sham can be a student, or in this meeting there are some 35 students, right? Each and everyone is a real world existed thing. So you can be the student, you are the objects. Okay, but I can't see student directly. Okay, it's an imagination thing. Why? It is just like a template. What does it tell to us? It tells us, yeah, yes, you see, guys, what is a template means. You see, for example, student have what? Student has an ID, a college name, some age, some qualification, some department he belongs to. Like this, it is just like a template. It is not a real world existed thing. Okay, in interviews, if anybody asks you about what is a class, you need to say that it is a blueprint or a template that it's every object need to follow it. Okay, that's it, and it is a virtual thing. Now see the object. You can see here, if class is a template, its instance means its examples are nothing but object. See, object is nothing but the instance of the class, means one example or one sample case, right? Now object is a real world entity, and it has some state and behavior, which means what? State means some attributes or the properties, behavior means the methods or the operations that it does. For example, you see here, student is a class, and one real time example or a real world existed thing is what? For student, Ram, right? Ram can be a student. For example, Ram is a student. So Ram will follow the template. What was the template? Ram will have some properties and some operations to do. Properties like he will be having some ID, he will be having some name, he will be having some age, he will be having some department, and he will be having some qualification like BTech, MCA, MBA, like that. And he will be having some CGPA. Like this, these are all the state, or these are all the properties of a student. Just like, for example, Ram. Now see, what could be his behavior? Behavior means the operations or the functions that he do. For example, writing can be his behavior, reading, attending the classes, right? Attending the classes, and any other task like doing assignments. Like this, these are all the tasks, or these are all the operations or behavior of that student. Clear? See, class is just a template, it's a virtual thing. But object is a real world entity. It exists real world. Okay, it exists in real world. We can able to see it, and it has some state and behavior, means what? Some properties and some operations to do. And the next one, see, Ram can be example of the student. Sham is an object of person. Similarly, Benz car is an example of car. Benz is an object of car. I hope it's clear, right? What is meant by a class and what is meant by an object, the basic definitions. Okay, yeah, thanks for your response, and let's go for the next slide, guys. We will see in Python how to take a class. Okay, in every language just only the syntax changes, but the remaining things are same. Okay, whether you take Java, Python, or PHP or any programming language, The basic OOPS principles are same, but only the syntax changes. Okay. Now let's see in Python how to take the class and how to take a constructor. Okay. See, this is the class, and keyword you should use is a class. Okay. This is the keyword in order to take a class, and this is the class name. And now see here, constructor. This is the constructor. Why do we use a constructor? We use a constructor in order to initialize the properties of an object. For example, as I told you, the previous example, see, Ram is an example of student, right? Ram is an object of student. I want to initialize his properties like his name, his ID, his qualification, his department, his age, like that. In order to assign that, I will use a constructor. Okay. And one more point is, whenever you create an object, the constructor will be invoked automatically. Okay. No need to explicitly call like a function. It will be automatically invoked. Okay. See, I am taking two parameters in my constructor, and self is a default or a mandatory argument, which means it represents a current instance. Okay. Means current instance of the class it represents. You blindly remember that in Python, every instance method, self should be the first argument. Okay. Now next, see here, SID, student ID, and student name are the two instance variables I am taking. Now you see here how to create an object. In Java, how to create an object? Class name followed by the reference variable, right? Object reference equal to new class name and the parameters you want to pass. Like that, in Java, the syntax would be like this. Now in Python, you can directly take the class name and pass the parameters. That's it. It is a way to create the object. Okay. See, now when this line has been executed, what would happen? A memory will be executed. Hold a minute. Yeah, self means, hold a minute guys, self is nothing but an argument, but you no need to pass any value to it. Just it refers to the current instance. Okay. It is just like this keyword in Python, this keyword in Java. Okay. In Python, in every instance method, self will be the first argument. Okay. It is just like a mandatory case. You no need to pass any value to it. Okay. Now see this line, when this line has been executed, a memory will be allocated, and see student ID and student name. And what are the instance variables here? SID and SName, right? So SID will be, one will be allocated, and SName, which means for the first object, RAM will be allocated. Now it is referring by what? This memory is referring by a reference variable called R. Now let's see the second line. Similarly, when the second line has been executed, a separate memory will be allocated, guys. Observe, separate memory will be allocated, and there is no relation between object 1 and object 2. Okay. Whatever you change here, nothing will reflect here. Okay. Now object 2 having the ID as a 2, and object 2 will be having a name called Sham. It is referring by what? A reference variable, yes. Now see, I created two objects which has nothing but two students. One is Ram and one is Sham. Ram ID is 1, Sham ID is 2, and those are referring with R and S. Okay. R and S reference variables. Now see here, whenever I change here, those will not reflect here. Why? Let me change your scenario. Let me change you here. Yeah, explain DEF init. Guys, DEF init is a default constructor. Okay. It is a syntax to take the constructor in Python. Okay. Underscore underscore init underscore underscore is nothing but constructor in Python. DEF is nothing but method. It is just like a method. Okay. Whenever you want to take a constructor, you need to follow it strictly. Okay. Now see here, when come back to the topic, guys. See here, for example, there are 38 students in this meeting. For example, if any student has changed their name, will it reflect to the any other student? No, right? If one student changed his name, it won't reflect to any other student. So that's why I'm telling here, see, if any student changed anything here, it is up to this only. Now it will not reflect here. Okay. It will not reflect to the second student, third student, or anything. Okay. Now see, whenever you try to access this one, you need to access using this reference variable r.sid, r.sname. Similarly, whenever you want to access this one, you need to access using this reference variable s.sid and s.sname. Okay. Let me show you this example, guys. Let me show you. Let me execute these things and show to you. Okay. Hold a minute. Let's see here, guys. I think everybody can able to see the Python editor, right? I'm taking a class and the class name is a student. Okay. I'm taking a constructor in order to initialize the properties of every object. Okay. As I told you, self is a mandatory one. Keep it aside. And then I am taking two parameters, student ID, student age. For example, let me take another parameter also like student CGPA. Okay, student CGPA. Now let's see. I am taking three instance variables. Student ID, SID. I need to assign it with this, whatever the value I have passed here. Similarly, I need to assign with student age, right? I need to assign with whatever the value I passed here. Similarly, self dot SCGPA, student CGPA is nothing but whatever the value I passed here, I will assign, which means I will pass the values for ID, age, and CGPA. With that, I will create instance variables and I will initialize them. And this is the way to create the class. Okay. Now let's see here how to create object. Okay, let me create the object first. In order to create the object, whatever I told you, you just take the class name and you pass the parameters. What are the parameters? ID, age, and CGPA, right? Let the ID be 1. Let the name of the student is Ram. And let his CGPA is, for example, 9.5. Okay. I am referring it with R. Now, similarly, let me take second student, yes. And second student is nothing but his ID is 2 and his name is Sham and his CGPA is, for example, 8.9. Now, as I told you, I want to get the details. How can I get this? So far, we have seen like this. Two objects created, both are separate, okay? This is referring with R and this is referring with S. 1, Ram and his CGPA is 9.5. Similarly, 2, Sham and his CGPA is 8.9. Now, let me access their contents individually, okay? See, it is referring with R, right? Let me get the details of the first student, okay? Print details of student 1, okay? Let's see here. I will write R dot SID, R dot S age, right? Okay, hold guys, hold a minute. Yeah, student ID, student age, and student CGPA, right? Now I am passing their name also. For example, hold a minute. We will take it here. Student name, okay? Now see here, student ID is okay. Now let me take student name. Yes, name. So that I will assign as student name. Okay, now the next one, student age will be assigned, student CGPA will be assigned. Similarly, student age I need to pass, right? Let me pass the age as some 20 and his age is, for example, 21. Okay, now see, this will be ID, this will be the name, this will be the age, and this will be the CGPA. Okay, let me access their contents. Student name, the next one is R dot S age, R dot S CGPA. Okay, and this is the way to access the first student details. Okay, now let's see. Let me print the second student details also. Okay, hold a minute. Now see the details of the student 2. Now, as I told you, second student is referred with S, right? Let me access it. S dot SID, S dot S name, S dot SH, S dot SCGPA. Okay, SID, S name, SH, and SCGPA. I'm accessing. Okay, now let me save this. Okay, let me execute. Can you able to see, guys? Can you able to see the result? Details of student 1 is 1, Ram, his age and his CGPA. Details of second student is 2, his name, his age and everything. It is just like this. Two objects has been created. R is referring here, S is referring here, and here he was having some ID, some name as Ram, some CGPA and some age like this. Similarly 2 and the Sham and 8.9 like this. Now see, whatever I told you, For example, if you change the instance variable of one object, it won't reflect the next object, right? Let me tell you that. Details of student 1 before updation, okay? Let me put it as a before updation, and let me copy and paste this here also. Details of student 2 before updation, okay? Next, whatever I'm doing means I will change the name of the first student from Ram to Ram Mohan, okay? See how to change it. R dot student name equal to Ram Mohan. I am redefining, okay? Ram is the initial name. I am changing his name to Ram Mohan. Now check it out whether it will affect to Sham or not. Okay, we will check it out. Let me copy this and let me paste it here. Okay. Now see details of student 1. After updation, we will check it out. Similarly, after updation, second student details. Let me save this and let me execute. Guys, can you able to observe? See, initially Ram was his name, Sham and his details. Now after updation, the Ram has been changed to the Ram Mohan, right? But is it affected to Sham? No, right? Nothing has happened to the Sham. As I told you, this is object 1, object 2. For example, this is Ram and this is Sham. Ram has changed his name to Ram Mohan. Ram Mohan. But Sham, nothing, right? So whatever the updations you do here, it won't reflect to the Sham or any other student present in the class. Okay. As I told you the real time example. For example, here 30 students in the class. If any one of the student has changed his name, will it affect to anyone? No, right? It doesn't affect to any other student. Means every object is separate. Every object is stored in separate memory location. Okay. Just like see, Ram name has changed to Ram Mohan, but doesn't affect the Sham. Sham initial details and after updation details also same. Why? I changed only Ram, but not the Sham. Okay. I hope it's clear, right? Is it clear for everyone? The way to create a class, the way to take the constructor, the way to create the objects and access the object values. Okay, good. Okay, good guys. Now let's see the next, okay, continuation part. See, I'm going to give you some tips related to CPA examination. Means while taking the CPA examination, you are majorly needed to know OOPS concepts. Okay, that is what I told you right so far, the class, objects, everything. Now every CPA problem involved with some classes, some methods you want to write, and you need to pass the inputs and get the outputs. Okay, now see here, first and foremost you need to understand the question by looking at the classes. What are the classes involved in that, and how to take that classes, and what are the parameters they are asking us to initialize. Like that you need to initialize first, and then the next part was you need to know about the input which needs to be passed to the main function. Okay, from the main function, whatever the input you want to pass to your classes, you need to know that. Okay, and the next thing was you need to pass the inputs properly. Okay, just like the number of arguments and class names, everything you need to check while writing the code. Okay, and the next thing was you need to write your logic carefully. Okay, you need to implement the logics carefully. Why? Because while implementing the logics, your code may involve loops or any method functions, etc. If you done anything wrong, it will affect you the remaining steps also. So every step needs to be clear and error free. Okay, and one more thing I need to suggest you guys, while writing the code, I request you to please put as many print statements as possible. Okay, and see, temporarily check the output. Okay, for example, if you written 3 lines of code, check what happened, means what is the result, and again 3 lines of code. Okay, how, and then write some print statements to check how our code is performing. Is it performing as per our logic or not? Okay, I suggest you to please practice these tips, guys. Okay, and these are all the tips you need to practice in order to code for a problem. And we will see a coding problem, guys. Okay, and these are the tips you need to follow while taking your CPA examination. Okay, now let me show you a sample CPA problem. Okay, it is a previous problem, guys, and I modified a little bit, just variable names, so that we won't get any license issues. Okay, you see here, guys, the code will be very simple. You need to understand the question carefully. Okay, see, first you need to create a class called art with the below attributes. What are the attributes? Art ID, artist name, art price, and art type, right? Okay, let me do up to this. Okay, step by step we will do. See here, guys, first we need to take an art, right? First we need to take a class called art. Okay, I had taken a class called art, and hold a minute, guys. What are the things we need to keep here? Art ID, artist name, right? Art ID. Now let me take a constructor. Okay, def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and self is the first keyword, right? Self is the first thing you need to keep here. Once you have taken the self, here you need to pass the parameters, right? Now see what are the parameters you need to take. Art ID, artist name, and similarly the art price, art type. Now see here, art ID I am going to take. Let me take it as art ID, art name, right? Artist name, and the next thing was art price, and the next one is art type. Okay, which type it belongs to. The next thing is what? I need to initialize those attributes, right? Let me take them. Self dot art ID is the first attribute I need to take, and I need to initialize with AID. The next thing was self dot art name, artist name, right? Artist name I am taking here, and I need to initialize with a name. Similarly, I need to take self dot art price is a variable, right? Art price, and I need to initialize with a price. Similarly, self dot art type. Okay, art type. Now I need to initialize with a type. Now you can see with this we have completed this type, creating a class called art ID, artist name, art price, and art type. With the below attributes we have created it. Okay, with this it is clear. The next thing is what? You need to create a constructor which takes all the above values. Is it the same step or not? Constructor has been taken and everything will be initialized as per the order. Okay, now next thing was, see here, you need to take one more class called exhibition. Okay, and this exhibition will have only one attribute. That attribute is list of arts. Okay, you need to pass the list of arts to that class. Okay, let me take that. Okay, see here, guys, I need to take one more class. That class name is exhibition, right? Exhibition. It is just like an art exhibition is there. There are various artists are there. They are putting their arts, and every art is having some art ID. Okay, and our task is to implement two methods. I will show you what are those methods. Okay, this is the class, right? Let me take the constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore self, and for this we need to pass only one thing, right? What was that? Art list. What are the various arts are available there in that exhibition? You need to pass that. Now let me initialize this. Self dot arts list. Okay, arts list equal to a list. Now as you can see, with this initialization part has been done. Now see, the next thing is what? You need to write the two functions inside the exhibition class. Okay, and what was the two functions do? The first function is, see here, the first function's purpose is it takes a string representing art type. Okay, art type, and what you need to do, you need to return the total price of all the arts of given type. Means, for example, a art type is given to you, and from this all list of available arts, you need to check whether this art is of type given type or not, given type or not. Like that, you need to check all the arts and what are the matching arts are there. For them, you need to get the total price. Okay, which is nothing but whatever the type matched. Okay, for example, art type will be given, right? Whatever the arts having the same type, those sum I need. Okay, the next thing was get artist with the max count of paintings, which means what? Get artist with max count of paintings means from the all available artists, I need to get the name of the artist who presented highest number of arts. Okay, I need to get that also, and I need to implement these two methods. Let's see how to do that. Okay, now first let me take the input. Okay, the input would be looks like this. Hold a minute, let me show you the input, guys. The input would be looks like this, which means how many artists are there, how many arts are there, their respective art id, artist name, and similarly what was the price of that art and what is the type of the art. And these are all the details of one art. These are all the details of second art, third art, fourth art, and the fifth art, right? We will see. Okay, we will see how to take that input. Let's see here, guys. I need to take the input, right? For that I need to read n, which is nothing but the number of artists, int of input. For better understanding, I will write the messages also. Enter number of arts. Okay, how many arts you want to take, enter them. Now whatever you have entered, your task is what? You need to read it, right? Now see, for I in range means you need to repeat the process until the 5 arts has been read. Okay, the details of 5 arts has been read. You need to repeat this process. Now see, for I in range of n, the first thing is what? The art id. Okay, art id equal to, it is of integer type, so let me take int of input. Let me give it as enter art id. Okay, now similarly let me copy and paste the statement so that we will take the all the details of the art. Okay, the next thing was what? Art name, right? Artist name. Artist name, it is of string type, right? That's why no need to typecast into integer. Similarly, the third point is what? The third thing was we need to take the price of the art. Art price, it is of integer type, right? So here artist name, artist name. Similarly, enter art price. Okay, art price, and I will store that price here. Similarly, the last one is what? The last one is the type, right? The type of art, it is also integer type, it is also string type. Okay, so let me take it as input of enter art type. Here observe, guys, input is a function in Python in order to read the input from the keyboard. Okay, that's why I am using input function, and whatever the values entered by the user, I will store here. For example, when I equal to 0, first art details will be collected: art id, art name, art price, and art type. Okay, now what I will do means I will create the art object with all those details. Okay, let me create that. Hold a minute, let me create that. Object equal to, class name is art, right? Art, and I need to pass the parameters: art id, artist name, art price, similarly art type I will pass, and those will be initialized, which means object will be created. And whatever the objects has been created, I will take them into a separate list. Okay, for example, let me take it as our objects. Let me take an empty list first, and then whatever objects we have been created here, I will add all those objects to our list. Okay, let me copy and let me paste it here. Our objects list. Okay, our objects dot append is a function to add it. Append of object, which means what? Whatever the objects you have been created. For example, as I told you, here 5 objects I need to create, right? Why? This is related to first object details, second object details, third art details, fourth art details, fifth art details. Means 5 objects I need to create, and those are all 5 object reference variables will be stored in this list. Now my job is what? I need to call this function or not. I need to call this function. Hold a minute. I will write the function implementations here, and I need to call the functions. What are the functions? First, get the total art price is one thing, and the next type is what? Get artist with the maximum count of paintings. Okay. Now for this I need to read a type, right? What are the type you want to check? I need to read. Let me take it here. Okay. Initially, let me create an object for exhibition also. Let me take it as exhibit. Okay. Exhibit equal to, the class name is what? Exhibition. Let me copy and paste so that there will be no spelling errors. Okay. Exhibition. And for this exhibition, I need to pass only list of objects. What was that? This is right. So let me copy and paste it here, which means what are the objects I have been created here, which will be initialized here. Okay. Entire complete arts list, 5 arts, right? 5 objects. Those will be initialized. And the next thing is what? I need to check a type, right? Let me take check type is nothing but what are the type you want to read, you can read it. Okay. Let me copy this statement. Okay. Let me take this and let me copy and paste it here, and I will write here give the type to check. Okay. Give the type to check to calculate total. For example, to calculate total, give the type. Let me write it as art type, it will be good. Give the art type to calculate total. Okay. Now my job is what? I need to take some classes, some methods, right? Let me take those methods. DEF, the method name is what? Get total arts price. Okay. Let me copy, paste it here. Get total arts price. Okay. This was the method I need to take. Now, what is this method will do? This method will take the input as this one. See, this check type, and what are the arts available in this arts? What is the type matched with it? Those all prices will be summed up and the result will be given. Okay. Now let me tell you how to take that. Now this is the instance method, right? For that self is the first one, and that you need to call this, right? Let me take, it will take a type, right? Art type, for example. Okay. I'm not writing anything. Now see, I need to call that function, right? Hold a minute. I will call the function here. In order to call that function, see, print of, what I'm going to call is get the total arts price. I'm going to call that function. I need to pass the type, right? Check type. Check type is the variable I need to pass here. I will pass the variable. Okay. Now see, this check type will be saved into this type, and now I will give you the logic. What was the logic? First, I will take my total equal to 0. Okay. Now, from all the available, see, from all this available arts, 5 arts, right? 1 art, 1 C. These are all the arts available, right? This is first art, second art, third art, fourth art, and fifth art. With this, I will check the type. Okay, is it matching or not? Is it matching or not? Matching or not? Like that, I will check, and whatever the type is matching, its price will be summed up. Okay. Now let's see how to do that. Now I need to iterate over it, right? First thing was, see, for every object, let the object is X. Okay. For every X in where in our list, right? Arts list, self of arts list means whatever the complete arts are available within that, for individual art, each and every art, I am going to check what? Let me print those details. Okay. Let me print those details first, and then we will see. The first one is what? Art ID. The next one is X dot artist name. The next one is X dot art price. The next one is X dot art type. Okay, let me check it out whether we can able to see the input or not. Okay, whatever the input I had given, whether I can able to see it or not. Okay, we will check it out. See, number of arts are 5. Okay, art ID, the first art ID is what? Let me take it like this. Okay, let me move a little bit, and let me open up this also. Okay, we will keep this side by side, and I will give the input. Okay, guys, see the input. The next art ID is what? First art ID 101. Artist name is Raman and 50,000, right? 50,000 is the first art price and the art type is portrait. Similarly, second art ID is 102. Second art name is Kamal. Artist name is Kamal and its price is 30,000 and it is also of type portrait. Okay. The next art ID is 103. The next artist name same Raman, 25,600 is the price and the art type is modern. Okay. Similarly, let me take two more arts, right? Fourth art is what? Fourth art is this one. Okay. Now see, fourth art is 104. ID is 104. Name is Preeti. Artist name is Preeti. 34,000 is the price and its type is landscape. How it is landscape. And 105 is the ID. And let me scroll a bit. Okay. 105. And it was asking for the name. Sumar I am taking. Hold a minute. Yeah, Sumar. And then I need to take 50,000 and modern, right? 50,000. The next price is 50,000. The next one is the type is modern. Okay. Now give the art type to check. Okay. I am giving some type. For example, I will give the type as portrait. Okay. Or modern, for example. Okay. It is up to us. Okay. Get total arts price is not defined. Let me check it out. What happened? Get total arts price. Yeah, yes, guys. I need to call it with which? This object or not? Okay. Now see, guys. Exhibit inside this class only this method exists, right? That's why. Okay. Now let me save this and let me execute one more time. The same details I will give. Okay. Hold a minute. The 5 number of arts are 5. Let me take it again. Okay. Same input. Number of arts are 5. And then ID I need to enter, right? I need to enter the ID. Some 101 I taken the ID. And similarly, Raman. His details are Raman. Okay, hold a minute. Raman is the details. Hold a minute, guys. Let me check it out from another device and type fastly, okay? So that it will be easier for you. Okay, I will enter here details. See, the next first art price is 50,000. 50,000. Art type is portrait, okay? And the second art ID is 102. And artist name is Kamal. And 30,000 is the price of the art. And it is also of type portrait. Similarly, the third art ID is 103. Artist name is Raman again. And 25,600 is the price of it. And it is of type modern, okay? Modern. And the next thing was 104 ID. And the artist name is Preeti. And then the price is 34,000. And the landscape it is, okay? The type is landscape. The next art ID is what? 105. And artist name is Sumar. And 50,000 was the price of the art. And it is also of type modern. Now let me take the modern to check. Can you able to see, guys, what are the data I had passed? Can you able to see? 101 Raman, first details. 102 Kamal and the price of it and the type. 103 Raman, the price of the art and the modern. Like this, right? Now what I will do means, for example, modern is the type I want to get, right? Now out of these arts, what are modern? This is modern and this is modern type. So I will sum these two results, okay? Which means 50,000 plus 25,600. 75,600 I need to get, okay? Now let me show you how to do that. See, instead of after printing the details, what I will do means, I will check out here, okay? Hold a minute. I will check out, guys, okay? How I will check out? I will check out if the type of that art is equal to the given type or not. Okay, now see, if the first thing is what, x dot art type is equal to whatever the art type you passed as the argument, a type. If both are equal, then in that case, for the total, I will add the price of that art, means x dot art price. I will add it. That's it. Okay. Now see, at last what you need to return, if the total value is greater than 0, means at least there is some one art is available, right? In that case, what you need to write? In that case, you need to return the total. Okay, what is the total amount available? You need to return the total. Now else, which means what? If the total is not greater than 0, in that case what? There is nothing, like only or not only a single art is available. Okay, then in that case what I will return means no arts found. Okay, I will write like this. Now let me save this. Okay, and let me execute this up to this. Okay, now see, let me one more time, let me give the input, guys. Okay, the id is number of arts are 5, 101, the name is Raman, for example, and 50,000 is the art price. Art type is, for example, portrait. Similarly, the next thing is what, 102, the artist name is Kamal, and the next one is price is 30,000, and the portrait again is portrait. Next art ID is 103, Raman again, and this time 25,600 rupees, and this is of modern type. Okay, and the next type is what, art ID is 104, and the Preeti is doing that art, and the art price is, for example, 34,000, and the landscape, it was in landscape mode. Next art ID is 105, fifth art ID, and the name, artist name is Sumar, its price is 50,000, and the type is also modern. Okay, now I need to check the type modern. Okay, can you able to see, guys? Out of all these types, modern is this one and this one. The price is 25,600 and 50,000, means 50,000 plus 25,600 means what, 75,600 or not? Is it clear? In this way, if some type you have given and what are all the types are matching, those prices will be summed up. For example, instead of modern, if you give the input as some portrait mode, then in that case what will happen, there are two paintings available with portrait, 50,000 plus 30,000, those two will be summed up and our result will become 80,000. If you give only landscape, only one painting is available, that is 34k will be returned. Okay, you just give the type and all the arts of that type will be summed up. Okay, the price of all those arts will be summed up. Okay, and this is all about the first method. The second method we need to take is, see, the second method I will write here. The second method is what, guys? The second method is this one, get artist with maximum counts of paintings. Okay, now for that I will tell you a logic how to proceed. Okay, and in this method is not going to take any parameters, right? So nothing parameters we will take, and in this method I will tell you a logic how to proceed. You was available with a list of arts, right? What you will do means you create a dictionary in such a way that the keys will be the artist name. Okay, for example, Raman, like this artist name will be the key, and you need to get how many arts he presented as a value. For example, 2 arts, for example, Preeti, and 1 art, right? 1, like this you need to create a dictionary, and with this dictionary we can able to solve easily, right? Now let's see how to do that. Okay, let's see how to do that. Now see here in this scenario, guys, first what I will do means I will take an empty dictionary, and then what I will do, for whatever object is available in self.arts list. Okay, in our arts list, whatever the objects available, From that, what I will check? If the artist name, right? If the artist name is not in the dictionary, okay? If it is not in the dictionary means what? I am going to put for the first time. In that case, I will take my key as the name of the artist. And similarly, see, the key will be x dot artist name, okay? The key will be this one. The key will be this one and value will be 1. Means first time he was entered into my dictionary. If it is already available in my dictionary, what I will do? I will simply increment his count, right? His arts count, which means I will copy this. I will paste it here, which is nothing but my dict of x dot artist name plus 1 means whatever already available arts are there. For that, you need to add one more art, right? Just like that. For example, 2 arts are previously available, and this time also the same artist came. So for that, in our dictionary, I will increase his arts number. Okay. So from now he was having 3 arts. He will come one more time, then in his arts will become 4, like that. Now what I will do? I will print the dictionary also later. Okay, we will check it out. My dict. Okay, and what I will do means I will get the count, right? Maximum count I need to get. How can I get the maximum count? First, I will get the counts. How I will get the counts? From my date, if I apply the values function, I will get all the values, right? Which is nothing but the counts, the count of the paintings. Now I will hold it in a max variable. Now I will apply a max function to it, so that it will, what happens to it? Max of my dict of values means from all these counts, I will get the maximum count. For example, Raman taken 2 arts, done 2 arts, Preeti done only 1 art, and Sumar done only 1 art. Now out of this, whose count is maximum? Raman. And what was that count value? 2, right? So that count value will be holded by mx. Okay, mx variable. Now I need to take what? I will traverse. Okay, I will traverse the entire list again. See, I will traverse this entire list again, and while traversing it, hold a minute, I will traverse like this, then it will be very helpful. For every key in my dict, okay, which means for every name present in the dictionary, what I will do? If my dict of that key means what? I will get their count, right? If that person's count is equal to the maximum count, then in that case, I will take a separate list. Okay, let me take it as a names. Okay, names. Why? Because whatever the names of the artist available, I will check one by one name, and whose arts count is equal to the maximum count, then I will append it to this names list. Okay, now see, I will append to this names list, names dot append. Okay, names dot append of that artist name means k. I will add that to the k, my names. Okay, now what happened? The names array has been done. I will print the names array also for our understanding. Okay, names array. Now what I will do means, if length of the names list is greater than 0, which means what? If there is at least one artist is there, okay, then in that case, what I will do? I will return the first artist. Okay, before that, what I will do means I will sort the artist. Okay, I need to list out in sorted order. That's why I will sort the artist names. Okay, whose countings are equal to the maximum one, I make it as a list. I sorted the list and printed it, and I am returning their name. Okay, else means there are no artists available. Then in that case, what I will return? I will return as no artists found. Like that, I will write a message. Now see, just like the previous case, I will call the function. Okay, hold a minute. Just like the previous case, I will call the function. Now exhibit dot, what was the function name? Get artist with maximum countings, right? I will call it, and I no need to pass any parameters. Okay, no need to pass any parameters. Now let me save this. get artists with max count of paintings. Okay, let me save this up to this. Let me try to execute. Okay, let me give the input quickly. The input is 5. 101 is the first ID and artist name is Raman, and the 50,000 is the price, and art type is a portrait. And similarly, the second one ID is 102. The name is a Kamal, and 30,000 is the art price. And similarly, portrait. Okay, portrait 103. The next one is also again Raman, and again 25,600 is the price. Modern. Okay, is the type. Next one is 104, and this is what Preeti done this art, and then the price is some 34,000, and the type is landscape. The next one is 105, and Sumar did it, and the price is, for example, 50,000, and it is also of type modern. And I need to calculate the total of modern. Okay, now can you able to see, guys? Out of this modern type, I need to check. Okay, modern 25,600 plus 50,000 means sum will be 75,000. Now see here, you can check it out. Raman, how many paintings are there for Raman? 2 paintings. Kamal, for Kamal only 1 painting. For Preeti only 1 painting. For Sumar only 1 painting. I made the dictionary. And based on this, who is having the highest number of paintings count or arts count? Who did lot of arts? Raman, right? That's why I get the name of the Raman. Is it clear, guys? I hope it's clear, right? The code is clear, right? Anyway, I will provide you the code also, guys. Okay, no problem. In our YouTube channel, I will upload this code file and also the recorded session. You go through there. Okay, and hold a minute, guys. I will share my YouTube channel link. You guys please subscribe to it and share with your friends, so that you will get meetings like this. Okay, you will get the sessions like this. I request everybody to please subscribe to our channel and share with your friends. I hope you guys will support us. Okay, and you please share with your friends, guys, so that we will upload this type of recordings in our channel. You can get this recording from our channel also. Okay, we will upload it soon. And this is all about today's session, guys. I hope you enjoyed our session, right? I request everybody to please respond, guys. Have you enjoyed our session, guys? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining with us, guys.